Hi, I've got a bit of upper body focus class for you. We've done this in the last week in most classes in some variation or other. So a few people have really enjoyed it, so I thought I'd record it and keep it as a recorded one to send to some of you, okay? So starting off, just some shoulder warm up to begin. So pushing your feet to the floor, lengthening right up through the spine. We're going to just shrug the shoulders up, taking a breath in, and breathe out, pull the shoulders down. Do that a few times. As you're pulling your shoulders down, can you imagine your head and your neck getting a little bit longer, reaching up a little higher, breathing in, lift up, breathing out, pull down. Just one more time. Again, as always, you can just do more of these if you wish. Pause at any point. We're going to keep your arms and your shoulders down and just come into a gentle side bend. So lean into one side, feel that stretch here along side of the body. Come back up. And you'll feel it more in that space between your ribs and your hips at this point. And we're going to make it a little bit more focused along ribs and shoulders when we come back to these in a minute. So just noticing if either side feels more difficult, okay? Just realise, just making a note, a mental note of how it feels in each side of your body. And then when we come back to centre, we're going to bring your hands behind your head. When you do that, can you think about pushing your head back into your hands and making the back of the neck a little bit longer again? Then you're going to bring your elbows forwards and your elbows wide. And as you are bringing your elbows wide, think all the time of pushing your head back into your hands, opening through your ribs and chest, but without thrusting forwards and arching, okay? The spine staying long, shoulders down. We come elbows forwards, elbows back a couple more times. And again, if this feels like it's tricky for you, you can come back to arms by your sides. But if you can, head pressing back, elbows nice and wide. We're going to go back into your side bend. So now, doing this with hands behind head, you might feel this more along this section here, from the back of your underarm down the side of your shoulders and ribs. And if it feels all right, we'll come to the side and we'll pause and breathe in. Can you think of this top side lifting a little more as you breathe in? And come back. And one more time. Pause, breathe in, lift up your sides. And come back. Bring your hands down, give your arms a little bit of a shake. And we're going to come down to the mat. If you can't do a roll down for any reason, that's absolutely fine. Just comes down to the mat in whatever position and however you need to get there. But if you can, a bend of your knees, hands to your thighs for a bit more support. We'll tuck the chin, rounding the spine down. Big bend of your knees, just hang at the bottom. Take a breath in and then walk your hands forwards to the mat. We're going to start out on our forearms on the mat. Press your forearms into the floor. Think again about the back of your head, tucking your chin at the front and pressing the back of the head back so you're that bit stronger in your upper back. Now we want to keep your upper back still. We're going to slide your left leg out behind you. Breathe out. Think of pulling a little bit from the ribs and hips at the front of the body, ribs and tummy at the front of the body. And can we lift and lower this leg without tilting in the back? We're trying to stay as still as possible. Okay, so keeping the back of your pelvis still, keeping the lower back still as you lift, breathe out, breathe in and tap back down. So keep pressing down through your forearms, keep the chin tucked in the back of the head, pressing backwards. We do a couple more here. We're targeting glutes and hamstrings in the back of the leg, lots of abdominal and back work and keeping the back still, and lots of load in your upper body with your arms and shoulders working to hold your body, okay? Bring your knee in, take the weight off your arms, take a breath for a second. You can let your head just relax. And then we come back to the same position, push your forearms to the floor, lengthen the back of the neck by tucking the chin. Breathe out, slide your other leg back, pause and take a breath in, and then breathe out, lift, breathe in, lower. And we go again, breathe out, lift, breathe in, lower. And we keep going with that. Each time you breathe out and lift your leg, you're thinking about that little bit of pull of your tummy, your ribs closing in. So each time we breathe out, that happens naturally. We just want to emphasize it a little bit more in Pilates. So that breath out, you're narrowing your ribs, you scoop your tummy up a little bit. We'll do maybe 2 more there. And when you've done, bring your knees underneath you, take the weight off your arms,
Bum back to heels. Again, you can let your head rest if you want to, just let the head dangle. And then we're going to build ourselves up to seated. So tuck your bum under, scoop your tummy in, and build yourself up to a seated position. From here, we're going to come onto our backs. So onto your bum. We can roll back if you want to, but again, if you know you struggle with your back, if osteoporosis is an issue, don't do a roll down. You can just hug your knees and lower yourself back to the floor. But if we can, legs out straight, arms out straight, tuck your pelvis under, scoop your tummy, and roll all the way back to the mat. Just resting with your arms at your sides and your feet to your bum. We'll take a few breaths. Have a think how the back feels to the floor. So think of the weight of your shoulders. Left and right, any differences. Think of the weight of your ribs. Think of the lower back and how that feels to the mat. So from there, we're going to bring your right knee in towards you and hold the front of your knee. Now from here, we're going to get some extra upper body work by keeping the focus on your elbows being lifted up and out. If you let your elbows just go floppy, we switch off a lot of the work in your arms and your shoulders. You lift your elbows up and out. We've got work in the bicep, in the front of your arm. We've got some work in your deltoid here at the top of your shoulder. So keep that feeling. Keep hold of this right leg. Bring the left leg in as well. And then can we lengthen out your back? You want to keep your back still as you stretch that left leg out away from you. Take a breath in and hold this position. And then you're going to breathe out and switch legs. Left one comes in, right one reaches out. Take a breath in. Breathe out and switch legs. Now, each time you hold the knee, pull on it, lift your elbows up and out, and each time we switch, we're breathing out, engaging through your tummy. Breathe in and hold, breathe out and switch. You choose how low this straight leg wants to be. You can take it out to a hover off the floor like this, so long as we're not thrusting and tilting in the lower back, okay? So you want to keep still. The back doesn't have to be totally flat to the floor, but we're not wanting to lift and sink and tilt the pelvis forwards and backwards, okay? We're going to do a harder set in a second. So hug your knees in, take a breather. If you know you struggle with your neck, we won't add any more in. We'll just repeat what you've just done. But if you can, starting holding the left leg this time. Hold onto the front of it, lift your elbows up and out. Pause there, keep this arm positioning. Can you tuck your chin as if you were holding an egg underneath your chin? And then as we lift up, you're going to pull the bottom ribs down, straighten this right leg out, and pull the ribs down as you curl the head, neck, shoulders up. Try not to drop this egg or burst it that you're holding beneath your chin. Take a breath in, breathe out and switch, breathe in and hold. Breathe out and switch, breathe in and hold. Keep going with that. Breathe out, switch. Breathe in and hold. If you know you struggle with your neck, don't force yourself into this lifted head position, okay? Again, osteoporosis, if we've got some rounding in the upper back, osteoporosis, keep the head down on the floor, okay? We're going to go quicker if we can. We're going to breathe out, switch, breathe in, switch. Remember, we're trying to keep working your arms. So keep your arms, elbows, up and out high. We want to work your abdominals. We want the back to stay still. Breathe out, switch. Breathe in, switch. Breathe out, switch. Breathe in, switch. Rest anytime you need. Or if we can, we're going to go 4 more sets. 3 more sets. Last 2. And 1. And when we're done, hugging knees in, head down if it was lifted, and give the back a rock to the floor. So that's one leg stretch. We've just completed the full classical Pilates version of one leg stretch, okay? We are going to make it a little harder with one leg coming in and out in a slightly more difficult position for your upper body. Again, if you get into this position and it's too much, come back to what we just did, okay? So either roll into your side and bringing yourself up to seated, or if you're fine again in the back, no osteoporosis, you're going to hold the back of your leg, tuck your chin, roll yourself up to seated. Hands are going to come to the floor behind you. Fingers pointing towards your bum. Squeeze your elbows and your shoulders back so we are straight and strong in your upper back. And then you're going to lower onto your forearms. Again, if this feels like this position is too much on your back, come back onto your back like we were a second ago. Bring one leg up. Can you keep your back still as you lift the other leg up? Tap one down and the other, okay?
This again can be, this is kind of a preparation for the next bit, but if this feels like this is enough for you, stay with this. If the shoulders, upper back are struggling too much, or lower back, come back onto your back. If we can, lift one leg, keep it there. Other leg up to meet it, and then we're just going to stretch one leg out, bring it back in. Other leg, stretch out, bring it in. As you're stretching your leg out, breathe out. Breathe in, bring it back in. Now your back does not want to be moving from the floor as the legs are moving, okay? If we've had enough, take a rest. Another alternative is one foot on the floor and one leg coming in and out. You can pause, do a few, and then join back in when you want to, okay? We'll make this one the last, and then lower back onto your back and hug your knees, give the back a little rock. So we've done a one leg stretch, and then we've done a one leg extension in and out in that propped up position. We're going to move to a two leg stretch next. Again, we'll make this easier, and then we'll layer it up to make it a bit more difficult as we go on. So you're going to hold both knees this time, hands on the knees and elbows up and out again, so you keep that work in your upper body. Both legs are going to stretch out, but we're going to go high to start. Stretch legs out, reach your arms overhead and bring your hands back to your knees, elbows high. Going again, breathe out as you reach out, breathe in as we come back in. If overhead arms is tricky for you, you can just take your hands to the ceiling and then hands back to knees. If you've got lots of room, you could circle your arms out wide to the side and then hands back to knees, elbows high. Use your inner thighs to help you. So when your legs are stretching out, squeeze the thighs together. Arms circle wide to the side if you've got space, or hands just come straight back to the ceiling and back to the knees. Last one there, breathe out, reach out, breathe in, come back. Another set, okay, so take a rest. Again, any back issues, any neck issues, repeat what we've just done, keep legs high to keep it easier. If we are fine in the neck, fine in the upper back, we're going to do the same thing but with head and neck lifted. So we'll hold on to the knees, tuck the chin into the chest again. Imagine you're holding something under your chin. Try not to drop it or break it. As you breathe out, pull the bottom ribs in towards the body to curl up. Hands on the knees, elbows wide, take a breath in. And breathe out, reach out. Breathe in, hug back in, elbows high. Breathe out, out. You can circle your arms around if you've got the space. Breathe out, reach out. Circle around if you've got space, or hands straight up to the ceiling and back to the knees. Again, resting head down if you need it. We'll do two more. And the last one. Hugging the knees, rocking the back again. Turn the neck a little side to side for a little neck release too. And again, repeat what we've just done. If you need to, protect the back, protect the neck, or if we can, we are going to roll up to seated, come back to that same position with your fingers on the floor behind, pointing to your bum. Squeeze your elbows, squeeze your shoulders. So we start out really tall and strong, lowering onto your forearms. We'll lift one leg. Can we breathe out, pull through your tummy, lift the other leg up and bring your thighs together. We're then going to breathe out, stretch the legs out, breathe in, come back in. Go in again, breathe out, stretch out, breathe in, come back in. You choose how low your legs want to go. We don't want the back lifting and lowering. We don't want pain anywhere. Tummy's working hard, yes. Shoulders are working hard, but no pain. Can we do two more? And last time, we'll lower back to the floor, hug your knees and rock the back to the ground. So a little bit easier for the next bit. Starting out, this is going to be a bit more leg and hip focused. Then it's going to move to upper body as we go on. So we're going to lay on your side with your bottom arm under your head, top hand on your hip. We're going to lengthen this top leg out away from you, reach it long, point your toes. Can we keep the pelvis still and point that foot to the back of your mat? Back to centre. Push it back and back to centre. So as we are going back, we're trying not to tilt the pelvis around like this.
Hand on your hip gives you that little bit more feedback of keeping the pelvis still. Take the leg back, and then can we keep it back and tap and lift? Now we don't just want to drop your foot to the floor like this. Okay, this movement wants to come from your thigh bone. Your leg is staying back at that back edge of the mat. Tap your foot towards the floor, lift back up. So we're targeting these deep hip muscles. We're stretching through the front of the thigh. We're engaging through the back of your thigh and your bum and those deeper side hip muscles too. Okay, we'll come in with the knee, give the hip and the waist a rub. And then we're going to take the leg out and flex your foot, push out through that heel, pulling your toes towards you and kick your leg forwards. Come back to centre and kick forwards. The more you can flex the foot, the more you're going to stretch out the bottom of your foot and the back of your calf, lower leg. But the further forward you do this kick, the more you're going to stretch the back of your thigh. But again, we want the pelvis to be staying still as you do that, so you're not kind of curling into a fetal position. So as far forward as you can with the leg, and then again lower and lift. And notice again, this movement is coming from my thigh bone in my hip and not just tapping my toes to the floor like this, okay? Whole leg down, whole leg up. Again, don't move into pain. We should feel a bit of a burn in the hip, but if it's too much, take a rest. We're just going to do a couple more if we can. And then bend that knee, give the hip, the waist a little rub, and we're going to do upper body and then put them together. So if you bring your top hand behind your head, interlace your fingers behind your head. Think of what we did at the start when we were standing. Push your head back into your hands. So again, we're not starting in this kind of curled up fetal position. Head pressing back, neck long. Top elbow is going to come towards the bottom one, and then it's going to lift up to the ceiling. Look up towards it, and can you take it back behind? Bring it forwards and bring it back. Now as we do this first few, try and think of keeping your knees still. You don't have your hand on your hip now for that feedback of whether we are tilting the pelvis. We want to keep this rotation in the mid and upper back, and we're not just rocking on the pelvis to get your elbow backward. Okay, we're going to add the leg in if we can. If it feels like it's difficult in keeping the body still, keeping the pelvis still, just do your elbow movement and keep the leg out of it. But if we can, bring your elbow to the top elbow to the bottom one, and then take this top leg out to the end of the mat. Point your toes and take your leg to the back edge of the mat, and then flex your foot, kick your leg to the front and take your elbow to the back. Point your toes and take leg back, elbow forwards, and flex your foot, leg forwards, elbow back. And we'll keep going with that. We're getting that nice kind of rotation through the back, almost like a ringing out feeling through the sides of the body, and still working that deep side hip muscles, stretching front and the back of the leg as we do that kick, and opening through your chest and your underarm too. We do two more if we can. Again, rest if you need to. When we finish this one, we'll bend the knee in, give the hip, the waist a little rub, and roll yourself onto your back. We're going to rest on your back for a second, just arms by your sides, let everything sink, see how you feel through either side. And then we'll roll over to the other side, do the whole same thing on the other side, okay? So, we're going to lay with your bottom arm underneath your head, top hand on your hip, point your toes and reach the leg out. Can you keep this pelvis still as you just swoop the leg to the back edge of the mat and back to centre? We go back edge and back to centre. We keep going with that. Can we feel that we're working this outer hip? We're opening the front of the thigh, working the back of the thigh. And then keep the leg at the back if you can, and lower and lift. Lower and lift. And remember, this movement wants to come from the thigh bone and the hip socket. It's not just your foot dropping down at the end of the ankle. So we'll bend that knee in, give it a little rub. We go back to the forward kicking position. So your leg comes out, you flex your foot, drive out through your heel and kick your leg forwards and centre. Forwards and centre. And again, the further forward you can go, the more we stretch the back of the leg, but make sure you're not curling up into the back. Can we go forwards and keep it forwards and lower and lift? So again, if this is too much, you can stay with just kick forwards and back, you can rest. I think I need to do more of these on this side. Definitely felt tougher on this side. So last couple, then we do the upper body. So we bend the knee, give the hip hip and waist a rub, and then we bring your hand behind your head, both hands, press your head back so the neck is long, press your knees together, and we just do the elbow open and close to start. So we're not wanting to rock around on the pelvis. The bottom part of your pelvis stays connected to the floor. We go forwards and backwards a couple more times. So again, you can stay with just this upper body movement if your hip has had enough, or keep your elbow forwards and take the top leg to the back edge of your mat, pointing your toes at the back. Flex your foot, kick your leg forwards and your elbow goes backwards. Point your toes, take the leg back and elbow forwards. And we'll do that again. Flex, leg forwards, elbow backwards. Point, leg back and elbow forwards. I've got a really bad feeling that my phone might have just stopped recording. But I'm not far off the end, so I'm going to keep going in hopes that it has. That it's continued, that it's not stopped. I heard a noise that I didn't recognise. And it did this to me a few weeks ago, but I had the camera facing me, and for some reason I've done it camera facing away this time. So I don't know, you might not get this. Okay, last one, forwards and backwards. Think of the length from your elbow to the end of your foot. And when we've finished, we'll rest the leg in again, give the hip a rub if you need to, and come onto your back. Resting on your back with your arms by your sides, we're going to do one more exercise. Simple bridge with an extra little upper body stretch if we can. So we're going to use your glutes, squeeze your bum, press your back into the floor and peel your back up from the ground. Pause at the top. As you're coming down, can you melt your spine back to the floor, one bone at a time, rest at the bottom. Going again, breathing out, peel yourself up, pause at the top, take a breath, and breathe out, melt back down. Now, keep going with that a few more times if you need to, but if the back and the legs feel okay, you're going to take your hands up to the ceiling, let your shoulders be heavy and peel yourself back up, and then at the top, can we swoop your arms back overhead, keep them back, and then melt your spine back down to the floor. Okay, we'll take your hands up to the ceiling and peel yourself up again. Peel up into your bridge. I'm going to check my phone and see if it's still recording. It is, hurrah! So, I'm going to add one more bit in. I was unsure whether if it wasn't recording I wasn't going to bother, but I will. So, anyway, back to your bridge. Arms are reaching overhead. Feel the weight of your arms, pull your upper back that way, and then your bum sinking down and pulling the lower back in the other direction. We'll do that again 2 more times. So thinking again about that extra bit of space that we create along the back with the arms reaching backwards, bum pulling down in the other direction. We'll do just one more, hands to the ceiling, peel up into a bridge. Arms back at the top, avoid thrusting your ribs or your hips up as your arms move. Keep the arms back as the bum comes back down to the floor. And when we've finished your last one, give your knees a little bit of a hug. Rock the back to the floor. And for the last strength upper body move, we're going to roll and face one side, roll to one side and face the mat. We're going to prop up on our forearms like we did earlier. Before we did just one leg out and lift and lower that leg. That's an option if you want to just stay with that. If you can't kneel, you could do the leg kick out behind you up against a wall or leaning onto a chair as well. Okay, but if we can, hands to the floor, forearms push to the floor, chin tuck, head back.
We're going to tuck your toes under and we're just going to push the floor away and hover your knees off the ground. Hold that, take a breath in and then drop your knees back to the floor. Okay, we do that again. Push the floor away, hover your knees, hold it, take a breath. And then knees back to the floor. That is the easier option if you need it, okay? Harder option as we go on if we can. So take the weight off your arms, give them a little shake. Then back to the same position. Again, start out strong in your head and neck. Chin tuck, head pressed back, shoulders pull down as your forearms push to the floor. Hover your knees off the ground, take a breath. This time, rather than drop your knees to the floor, can you lift them and stretch out the back of the legs? Take a breath in there and then drop back down, either knees to the floor or knees to a hover. Hold it, take a breath in. Breathe out as we move, bum to the ceiling, hold it, take a breath in. Knees down or knees hover, either way, hold for a breath in. Going again, push your forearms to the floor, lengthen through the back of the neck, hold at the top for a breath in. And back to a hover or knees to the ground. And then drop the knees to the floor, bum back to the heels. I'm going to quit while I'm ahead. I'm worried that my phone might die on me. So I'm just going to give you a quick run through of what the final stretch was going to be. Into a kneeling position, step your right leg forwards, take this right arm forwards, and we're going to draw a circle with this right arm all the way around, okay? Do 2 or 3 and then reverse it, try the other side. You can also just do 1 in one direction, 1 in the other direction, okay? Once you've done 4, 5, 6 in total, switch to the other side, so your left leg would come forwards, right hand would stay on the floor, left arm forwards. So whichever leg you've got in the front, that is the arm that's going to do the circling. I hope you enjoyed that. I feel like I'm always disorganised with these. I'm so sorry. I did say at the beginning they wouldn't be kind of Instagram worthy. I'm doing it between 2 lessons. I had half an hour to spare. And then I realised that my phone might not be charged. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed that. We've got some upper body strength, we've got lots of mobilising through the shoulder, chest, upper body, and we've obviously snuck some lower leg work in with the hips, the bridges and the leg kicks. So we've kind of done a bit of a full body there, but with a bit more focus upper body. Hope you've enjoyed that. Drop me a comment if you've done it again, just so I know. I do think maybe there's only Dorian ever doing these, so let me know if you do them. I'd be really appreciative. Don't care if you do or you don't, I just would really like to know whether they've been well received or whether they're worth it. So thank you, bye bye.